Cypress is, you should go to the Cypress IO website. And Cypress will help you to write and execute end-to-end UI or component test for your web application. So this is basically what Cypress is looking, what Cypress is looking. And Cypress will run your application, will reach your application, not run. Your application needs to be run when Cypress is running, and will execute some tests. And then you can see the test status here and check where the test failed or if the tests are good, complete with success. So it's really easy to write Cypress test. The documentation is awesome. Just you should read RTFM, read the fucking manual, but it's really a real pleasure to read this manual. It's simple, easy to handle, easy to read. You have anything you want. Yes, you can have some quick and easy test, and of course advanced test by mocking, by I don't know, some do some retry or something like that. So be sure to read this before starting with Cypress, or at least do your Cypress test with the documentation aside. Okay, so we will not do that because we already have Cypress in the JHipster application. So if you check the packages, and again we can check that we have Cypress, and we added some scripts for you to run Cypress. You can run Cypress by two ways. You can decide to, no, even by three ways. You can run Cypress directly by do npm run Cypress. It will just open this, will open the Cypress UI and allow you to launch the test one by one. We will try that just after. And you can also run the E2E script to run Cypress with the GUI open, and you can also run Cypress in headless mode. And headless mode will run Cypress without open a new browser. So this kind of script and this way of testing with Cypress can be easily used in your CI. You can also use that on local, of course, but we most of the time we want to see what Cypress do in local, and we want to see what Cypress. We don't want to see that in CI. So you can find every Cypress files under the test folder, and then you can go to JavaScript and then go to Cypress, and you can find anything is related to Cypress in it. So we have fixture, integration test, we have plugin support, and of course the JS config. If all of our tests are in integration file, and we have tests for account and for administration, and you will see that Cypress tests are really simple. Just let me open that, and okay, this is my test. I have login modal test, okay, and I have before each, and then I have some Mocha. It's use Mocha API to test. I think it's Mocha with BDD. Yes, I think it's BDD. And so you can have it and be sure that this is true. For example, simple test will be to you init your environment, then you click somewhere on your UI and you check that an element is present. And if the click before was going bad, you'll be sure that the element wouldn't be visible, so the test will fail, and you could know what the test failed. Oh, I can test directly in IntelliJ. I was not aware about that. I'm very curious what what happened if I click on that, but I will not, just to be sure to show you how we should use Cypress in a common way. So okay, so let's go. So let me open a new command and go to the TMP, and then well, we call that v7, and do npm run Cypress. Cypress is open. Where is Cypress? No. Yes, no, Cypress is open. So because I already have Cypress installed on my computer, it directly open it. But if you don't have it, it will try to download it, and every time you have a new version of Cypress is available, you will be able to download it automatically. So you don't have to care about Cypress, just Cypress version. I mean, you just need to run the npm Cypress script, and it will do the job for you. And now you have Cypress UI, and you can see that we found the same test, the same folders that we see in the code, when we saw in the code, and we have account and administration. You can directly click on it to run all the 6 files. Oh, excuse me. Or you can click on each to run a specific test. Also, you can choose between Chrome or Electron to run your test. And then, yeah, so this feature is you need to pay to have that, to see the runs that you've done. And what about settings? Let's check about that. So you have a configuration. So all these configuration are taken from the Cypress configuration in JHipster. So for example, it will try to reach your application on localhost and port 8080. You have Node version. It's interesting because I'm not sure. I have the 12th version. I think I have the 14. Yes, just let's take a quick check. Oh no, the one npm just Node. Yes, so it's really strange there. Why is this version of Node.js modeled with Cypress? Oh yes, okay. No, it makes sense. I just need to read the note in bold. There is a note. Read it. Basically, I didn't do it. So I'm a user. This is what users used to do, isn't it? Okay. So we have settings. So we don't have process settings, file opener preference. So we can, yes, if you want your test to be opened directly in your IDE for example IntelliJ or Vim. If you want to not be able to close the document, you be sure to use Vim. And experiment, so this is experimental stuff, so I don't really know what exactly is it, but I trust you will check for me. So let's run a test. So we have test, click on it, and let's the magic happens. Oh, this is my application. The test is running and the test is successful. It's awesome, really. It's so simple. You just need to click and you can see everything is running just in front of you. And the really great things I like is, for example, if I click here, so we have some steps. It matches to let's check, for example, login page aspect. So let me just to move that here. And if we go to the login, we have greets with signing here, and then greet with signing. Here we have requires username, we have requires username. So every line here match with an entry. It's a condition here in your test, basically a test. So if I click on it, I can see everything that have been done by Cypress. Okay, window, clear cookie, and you can see at the right. So excuse me, oh no, I can't. Or if I click, it pinned. So you can see that the application or Cypress show me all my application is at these steps. This is I think this is really interesting, especially for debugging, for example, or for I don't know, just to check that the test is matching what we expected. So this is really cool. And for example, if you have tests that failed, you can be sure that you can see it on the UI, and then to see what exactly happened on your application. So you want to click here, your visit. Yes, this is printed to your console. So we did some API called HTTP call. We get an element from a navbar. So the navbar is highlighted here. So this is really cool. Also, we click on the menu account. So and we click in exactly in it. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but we have a red button that exactly show us where the system Cypress click and the element. Then we go to login, etc., and we are waiting for the pop-up that to be displayed, and we check that the title authentication is visible, and then our test is done and is green because we checked everything in it. So it's really cool. So for example, let's do a try for, maybe we can maybe just put anything. So we want to get the element by, I don't know, is maybe this ID by default or something like that. What about the documentation? Get and get more domain element by selector. So if I have some get okay, so I don't really know what should happen if I put some weird thing like that, but let's get a try. What happens if I re-click here? Oh, Cypress is still open. No, I need to stop, yes, because the test was not stopped since I didn't click on it. So it should work. Oh no, it should not work, of course. Yes, so exactly what I wanted to show you. And I put some strange thing in the code, and okay, so the test failed basically because it tried to get an element that is called KLZGDKZHBD, and it does not exist. And if you click on the element, you can see what your UI looks like when the test failed. So it's really, and also you can see where the test failed exactly in your code. So it's really helpful, really. So just let's remove that because it doesn't make sense. And oh, it just rerun the test because I modify the test file. So I can see that, okay, I fixed my test, and now the test is running as expected. So everything is green, and this is really awesome. And yes, so let's run that. We can click here to run everything in Cypress. And of course, Cypress tests are quite long. I mean, it will need more time to be run than simple unit or integration test because we need everything prepared, everything available, and we click and do some HTML and DOM verifications and get element. So of course, probably this is not something that we can run at every time. Even if some people told me that they use TDD for doing that with Cypress, so it can be done. But in this case, I think that mock the API. So you can mock the API, and you can just try to test your UI with the API without the API. So it can be useful too. So let's just finish with Cypress with something. So I told you that we can oh, excuse me, here we can also Cypress like this, and if I, this is basically the same that when I click on the button. So if I do npm run e2e Cypress, oh, I think e2e and e2e Cypress are basically the same, so I can just run e2e. e2e is the default one. I will see everything that is run here, and when it's finished, the Cypress browser will be closed. So it will change everything like this, and here I can see the test status. So just let me, like, if I can, no, I can't. So this doesn't matter, but okay, this is a good way to having both view of what Cypress is doing right now with your test, and also to have some tracing with your console, with your terminal. Oh, I see there is the test failed. Interesting. And okay, so maybe we just kill it because we already do that. So okay, we understand easily. And then the last one will be headless. So if you run directly this, it's also interesting to run Cypress quickly, as fast as possible, or doing your CI. So just click that. It will run Cypress in Chrome browser with the headless mode. So it means so no Chrome Cypress cron will be launched, and we will only have the console data feedbacks. So let me just unzoom a bit so we can see easily, and that's it. So it's really cool, really simple, and just let me stop that because we understand exactly what Cypress is, and just that thing. So we need to just check Cypress, and hey, come on boy. Also we have some interesting thing in so plugins. So plugins is specific for Chrome headless, but we need to check also what commands everything is support is supposed to help us. This is from JHipster, but it's supposed to help us to writing, executing test. So we decide to put every selector in the specific file, and also we can define it. This thing is really useful. You can add command in Cypress. This is like some function basically, and every time you call this command, Cypress will run this code. So for this example, sometimes we need to be logged in the application. So we don't want to copy that and put everything everywhere you want to be sure that we log. So we just put it in command that name is login, and in the before step we call the login command, and then Cypress will run everything on it. Simple.